Welcome back to Solomon's Porch with your host Jason.
And Shawn.
And we are joined by a special guest. We've had him on the show before. We had him on a one-shot when we reviewed the finale of the season 2 of Mandalorian. And we've also had him on the regular show. Mr. Hector Murray with, if I said your last name right, from Faith and Fandom. How's it going, man?
Good, dude. It's good.
Did I say it right?
No. But it's all good.
Shawn, it's your turn. You say it.
It's Miraz, isn't it?
What was that?
Is it Miraz or... I'm going to mess it up, too.
You're good. It's Mirai.
Mirai?
Mirai.
Okay.
I think the last time we did this, I was thinking like me and rye bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about Mirai bread. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, man. Well, we're glad to have you on the porch again, virtually.
I just know him as Hector, so... Or brother, one of the two. So
Yeah. I generally leave my last name off anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah.
I always call him Pastor Hectic.
Pastor Hectic?
Hectic, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you heard him preach? Because he's not hectic.
I have, and I know afterward everybody's running around the church like crazy. So filled with the Spirit,
okay.
so it was kind of hectic.
Gotcha.
So yeah, man.
Right.
So today we are
Anyway.
here not to talk about preaching or pastoring. We're talking about the premiere, first episode of the Book of... Is it the Book of Boba Fett?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we've been calling it just Book of Boba, but yeah, it is technically Book of Boba Fett.
So first episode, we're going to discuss it. This is going to be spoilery. First chapter. Chapter.
It's good. It's like Airbender. It's like Avatar: The Last Airbender with that, because they called everything chapters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Hector, I'd love to let you lead off, man. What were your initial thoughts after the episode ended? How were you feeling? And just kind of a quick summary of it, of your feelings.
I felt like it's a solid entry to everything else we've gotten on the Disney end of things, like TV wise. Honestly, my biggest thing was realizing that Matt Berry is in it, and he was the white droid that was introducing people into
the torture droid.
Yeah, the torture. There we go. He's a British comedian.
Yeah.
Like he's and I'm a big fan of his work. And so I was just like, Matt Berry.
He's done some Wait, Don't Tell Me. No. That's the name of the show. Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, I was just like, I was like, isn't it? But I was like that. But like,
sorry. Yeah.
He was one of the stars from the It Crowd, which Richard Ayoade who was also in Mandalorian, is in. He does What We Do in the Shadows, The Toast of London, just a bunch of different he plays the same character on everything, but he's fun to watch. So, but I really enjoyed it overall, and getting to get a little bit more Fennec Sand was good.
Yeah.
And and that's the thing, I've seen so much animated Fennec that she kind of seems a little stiff, comparatively speaking, to animation, but I guess everybody does when you do it that way. So
sure.
But no, I thought it was good overall. It brought a lot of good humility and character to what he's going through in this current situation. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, and I think for me it was a matter of understanding that this is still sort of origin-esque, because we're getting that fill-in from what happened from Return of the Jedi. Now, of course, we've had some of the story information, whether from book or comics, but now it's more. It feels fully canonized, and that was probably the big thing for me was that payoff. But then we're also talking about it felt a little slow because of all of that information having to fill in, So by the time the 30-some minute episode ends, it's like, I didn't really feel like I got much of anything. But I still enjoyed it.
But giving us a canon, he crawled out of a sarlacc was, important. One thing too for me, man, this didn't feel to me like Robert Rodriguez directed it.
Well, but he was in it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but like I know he direct, but like I feel if you tell me Robert Rodriguez is directing something, I expect a little more pew pew.
Yeah.
But he did that. But did you catch the Santana in it?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely the guitarist there, the Max Rebo band.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and there's so many little things in this that I think we could probably go on. Jason, did you want to go and give your quick thoughts, your overall?
Yeah, I can't actually hear Hector right now because there's a issue with the. Hold on one second.
Okay, well then in that case, while he's working on that, um,
Do I
you,
need to do anything different?
no, I don't think so. I think you're good. It's Jason's having to make some other adjustment to the live stream.
Yeah.
Um, we got a lot of quick nods of this, that, and the other. So, I mentioned the Max Rebo band, but we've got lots of extra aliens in this. So, the Rhodians, the Trandoshans, the Twi'leks. It's just so much in there, which has been fantastic, I think. But the the expanded universe of Star Wars is really what all this is still kind of launching out into, and so being able to see more of these other races, for at least for the folks that are not normally like super fans, I guess, that are familiar with the other races, that it's a good opportunity for them to get acquainted with them, so that way as we go to expand, because I know there's a lot of folks that have watched the movies and will even watch Mando but haven't watched any of the Clone Wars, which is a little hard for me to conceive, but I get it. It's just folks haven't done that, so or Rebels, and so you don't get a lot of those expanded races and where the shows from here on out can go to. You know what I'm saying?
So I gotta apologize for the past like 3 minutes. I have no idea what was said because I was trying to fix a technical problem we were having, as you can see in the video. Hector, could you hear Shawn the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal.
Which is why I kept talking.
Yeah, Shawn's good about that. He knows if something happens, he just keeps on going and going and going.
Yeah.
As far as my thoughts on the episode, I thought it was good. I was expecting it to drag, but it didn't drag because
Really? I thought it did.
it didn't drag as much as I thought it was going to.
Okay.
It wasn't as bad as some of the other Disney Plus shows have been.
Fair. Definitely fair. Yeah.
And I felt like the story moved along. It progressed. Obviously, you did get some flashback to the Tusken Raiders, which I thought was pretty cool. And it almost kind of reminded me, just the story in general reminds me of like Mando kind of being taken in by the Mandalorians and being accepted into the Mandalorian guild. And so with Boba, he's kind of brought in with the Tusken Raiders, and you're seeing his slow transition into being kind of a part of them, at least for the time that he was there. So I thought it was cool. The only thing I really didn't like was the sand monster. I didn't really care for that too much. I mean, I don't know if it was the Goro-esque to him, but I just didn't care for that much. I mean, it was kind of a cool scene of seeing Bubba take down this huge monster, but aside from that, I was like, that just didn't work for me.
Well, but see, he had to have something that was bigger than just not taking the kid out. When he freed himself the first time, he had to have something bigger that really solidified, okay, we're not going to kill you now, sort of thing. And so taking out the big sand creature, which, by the way, has no name except for sand creature at this point. And yeah, it does look a lot like Goro. But, he ends up choking him like Jabba was choked with a chain, right? I mean, there were so many little great things like that. So I don't know. I thought it was totally worthwhile. What do you think, Hector?
Well, when he first started emerging from the sand, I thought it was a rancor or a rancor, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like that was like I was like, oh snap! They really went Return of the Jedi with this, and they're gonna have him fight a rancor. But then I mean, it was good. I really felt like the whole thing with setting up their relationship with the Tuscans. I I'm not gonna say it was superficial, but I mean it worked well. But it like it was one of those like plot point things of like, okay, now they'll do this, now they'll do this, and it's
Right.
just like you knew the dance before it started, and
Sure.
but it wasn't bad to watch. Like it just I did feel like Boba was a little less intimidating than um like he did the whole thing. He wanted to be like remembered by respect, and then he gets handled
Right.
by like some dudes with like laser
Ninjas.
shields in the
Yeah.
middle of the street. So
Well, the whole thing with the Tuscans, I've sort of become a little bit of a fan of Tuscans now, and I love that we got to see more of their culture, if you will. There was no signing, there was a little bit of gesturing, but so that was kind of a downer for me. But
because I thought the signing was a big step forward with Mando.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. But I love the different attire. So we've got the chieftain and the folks that are wearing black, which actually black is is actually fairly common to be worn out in desert areas. Lots of other cultures do that, so it's not an uncommon thing. And so it was kind of cool to be able to see that, but also seeing a chief and then the warrior. And the warrior is actually a stunt woman who's done a lot of superhero stunt work. And so to see a female Tuscan warrior was really pretty cool.
and the one like chief looked like Cabal from Mortal Kombat.
And that actor actually is he was a Tuscan in Mando as well, so he I guess he's got some street cred there now.
So how do y'all feel like Robert Rodriguez is going to do? Because it looks like he's executive producer on the whole series.
Yeah, he is.
He did probably one of my favorite episodes in the second season of Mandalorian. And if anybody doesn't know, that's whenever Boba Fett was really kind of came in, and that's whenever Grogu was meditating, and it was a really action packed episode of Mandalorian. And so whenever I saw that he was executive producing all of this particular series, unfortunately, it's only 7 episodes, and it's only one season that they've announced. But how do y'all feel about him seeming like he's going to be kind of heading this up?
I'm a big fan of Rodriguez's stuff like out the gate. Like musically, like I have some of his music on my like rig of from years past. Like he did the soundtrack to Kill Bill 2,
Mm.
and some of his music on there is just like fire. But like a lot of his work, on his action stuff over the years has always been like if his name's attached to it, I'll go watch it. Like outside of Spy Kids, and you know,
You didn't like
like
Spy Kids?
I've never seen a Spy Kids movie. And like I know Machete comes from there, but on the same breath, I'm like, nah, I'm good. My kids have watched it plenty of times, and I'm sure I will see them at some point. But like, by and large, if he's attached to it, I enjoy it. So he's one of those people like, oh, he'll do fine. But he'll bring flavor, he'll bring culture, he'll bring good action. He'll bring a lot of dry humor, um, just by his like trademarks of how he does film work and everything. And no, I think it'll be awesome.
I love that he's not afraid of being in the shows. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
it's like because I think we suspect that he's also the mayor, based on trailer information that we've had.
yeah.
So yeah, I love that about directors. It was one of the things I loved about Hitchcock was just that little cameo that he would even do. So just having that little extra intimacy with your work is really pretty cool. So
Well, he was in 2 scenes in this episode. He was all masked up, but
well, he was the on Trandoshan.
He was also I know he was two characters. I can't remember which two.
Oh, I only knew about
But,
the Trandoshan.
But so I know Hector. You said earlier you felt like Bubba wasn't quite as intimidating.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you want him to be more intimidating? You said that
Um,
almost disappointingly.
I would like. Well, it. He talked a big game, and his talk was like, "Okay, I can get down with this," and then it's like watching, I say this with all the love and respect in the world. It's like watching a senior citizen try and handle your business. And I get that he's older, and this dude's doing big things, and I'm glad he's doing it. But I don't think it was just like him as an actor. I felt like as a character, he was like,
Sure.
um, but then again, like we have this great big respect for Boba Fett, and what we saw in Mandalorian was absolutely gangster.
Yeah.
Um, you know, um, but and I know that this is after that, and this feels like this should have been before that, like based on his level
That's
of
fair.
tenacity.
Sure.
Like like what I saw today did not match up to what I saw in Mandalorian. Um,
Well, and we keep getting the comparison that this is like the Godfather in a galaxy far, far away, and it instantly when the major domo for the mayor shows up and he's like, yeah, no, I don't have anything for you, and then oh wait, you're supposed to pay me, and Bubba's like, nah, tells Fennec to not kill him. It's like no, I'm pretty sure the Godfather would be like, nah, that's it, send his head back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was waiting for that. The first no, I kind of was like, okay, well, when she asks again, or say it pushes further, that he would push and go ahead and let her do it, and then the conflict would come out of that. Do we have any conflict in the show yet?
Just that he didn't pay tribute.
So do y'all feel like that's going to be the big issue here in this series? Is that?
Well, that and two, like the lady who was running the club who gave him the little arm brush or whatever, like she obviously wasn't wanting someone else to come in and try and run things again. She's like, because she said, after all, it belongs to you. Like that's obviously I'm gonna kill you because I don't want you touching my stuff. Like is where that's gonna go. So it's going to be I think the biggest thing is going to be that he's trying to establish his little stake in the ground that he technically hasn't earned, and that nobody is going to look at him. I mean, if you just watch a man get beat down in the street, nobody's be like, respect.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, they did put him in the
It,
Lazarus pit.
it's not going to pan out, obviously, and he's got to come to that.
So were y'all disappointed with him not taking this into the air at all? It being completely on land? Because the whole entire episode, there was no ships at all seen.
No, it's fine.
nah, I don't need this to go to air because, like, one, I think they're going to avoid using his ship a lot right now anyway, just for like PC reasons. If that ship is even intact, is it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I can't even remember, but like I know that they're like changing the names on the Legos and everything, so it's just like, okay. But no, I personally don't need a lot of aerial Star Wars stuff. Like if he would have jetpacked for a second, I would have been like, cool, but that would have been about it.
And frankly, that's actually one of my gripes about that fight scene, and I think Rodriguez did that on purpose so that we see the transition of Boba Fett being, I'm trying to do this in this way, but he's gonna just have to get down and dirty with things. Because I mean, what, he's walking around Mos Espa with not even a blaster? I mean, really? That just doesn't even make sense. I mean, granted, he had the Gamorreans, but what, they were real effective. I mean, kind of came in a day late and dollar short there.
So, Shawn, you're expecting a more vicious Bubba coming out of this first episode? Or eventually?
Eventually. I think that's what we're going to get to. We're going to see him develop and having a much better attitude about stuff. He's got to if he's going to survive. The world... the world he's in is just going to push him around. And like Hector was saying, he didn't earn any of this. He hasn't done anything to really to gain anything. And with Fennec keep talking about, ruling with fear and everything. What Star Wars has never had, moments where it's like, hey, hint, hint, nod, nod, wink, wink, all the time.
So, is there anybody you're wanting to see show up in this series? Like, have y'all thought about who you would like to see or heard about anybody who might be showing up? I know they have some cameos coming.
I know they've talked about Cobb coming back because he's technically in this timeline and in the area. So
Yeah, I mean, this is literally his neighborhood.
yeah,
This is 6 years after Jedi, right?
Yeah.
Now at this point.
something like that. Yeah.
So this is about 6 years after Jedi, which means we've got almost all of our primary cast alive and moderately functional from the originals. They're not going to bring Han Solo in just for the CGI of everything, like,
Right.
because I feel like that would be like, about as big of a chunk as if they did bring Luke into Mandalorian. But if we see the Falcon and Chewie at some point in this,
See, and I think we could totally see Chewie because the Trandoshan brought a pelt, and some people have speculated bantha pelt, and I'm thinking that's way too small for a bantha pelt. I mean, maybe for a newborn bantha, maybe, but even still, it's a little small for even just a Wookiee pelt. But the Trandoshans and the Wookiees have had a long history of hatred and warring and killing of each other. That would totally make sense. We know that there's a strong Trandoshan population there, so having Chewie kind of come in and he's got a little something, they got beef or something, that would be very cool.
I mean,
Chewie?
I mean, they've still got beef, from putting Han in carbonite. So,
Oh yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah, that would be interesting. Y'all think R2D2 is going to make an appearance?
Eh,
well, they said at the beginning that they needed a protocol droid.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think we're more likely to get C-3PO than we are R2D2.
well, and you guys, did you watch all of the end credit art?
I
I saw a
did,
good
but
portion of it.
So there's a throne room scene where down on the floor there's a protocol droid head on a platter. Are you guys are both Christians?
Yeah, yeah.
Think about the last time that we had, 3PO or a protocol droid in Hutt's palace, right? What was
Right.
his purpose? He was there to announce the Messiah, the Savior, coming to free everybody, right?
So he's like the John the Baptist.
Yeah, so he's basically John the Baptist in that piece of artwork. So yeah,
That's good. That's good.
Anyway, but yeah, so and maybe it's just a simple little nod to saying that yeah, we might see 3PO in the future. I don't know.
It might be his lady's friend. Do droids have lady friends? Or male friends?
Well,
I think they kind of
Lando had one.
Hey, I have heard that some people speculated that C-3PO and R2...
No. No.
Maybe that was just haters of Star Wars. I mean, this is back in the day, though. This is back in the day.
Probably.
So in the end of the day, I think I'm excited for the rest of this, the series, the season. That's all the same thing right now. And we got 6 more episodes. So do y'all think it's going to be as good as Mandalorian, or y'all think they can reach that level?
Well, I think part of the thing with Mandalorian is that, like, there's a lot of people that have watched Mandalorian that didn't watch any other Star Wars. Like cute baby Yoda on Disney. That's all they know.
Yeah.
And like I one of the guys that works with me at my church started with Mandalorian and has backed through everything else.
Wow.
Like because he said he saw like episode 2 as a kid, younger guy. He said he saw episode 2 as a kid, and the next thing he saw was Mandalorian, and he's now just made it all the way through everything, Clone Wars, Rebels, the whole shebang. And like I think Mandalorian just has a big mass appeal. that the rest of Star Wars doesn't. Um, and I don't know anybody that's going to really jump on the Boba Fett train to that level. I think Star Wars fans are going to watch it and they're going to be there for it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be as big unless they do something huge crossover wise.
Yeah, and I don't know that I see that happening. I honestly think that this is really just a payoff to the fans. Really, it's just it's fan service mostly, which nobody's complaining about. But yeah, it is. You're not going to be able to further, I think, Boba Fett in terms of new fans. You're gonna pick up some, I'm sure, but not in the massive way that the Mandalorian has.
Now, one thing I do think we could end up with though is we could meet Thrawn here.
Well, I mean, he's present during that timeline. I just don't know what I mean, Outer Rim stuff, but
I mean, the one time we saw Ahsoka in season 2, she was looking for Thrawn. We know
Yeah.
that Thrawn's going to be a big chunk of the Ahsoka show.
right.
So somewhere in the middle of a bounty hunter situation, somebody passing through, it could. I think we could get like some hint or some glimpse with that because just following the Disney's and Marvel's little playlist of how they've been doing things lately, it's introduce a smaller character, tease a bigger character, reveal a bigger character, peace out. Um, Looking at just what they did with Hawkeye,
Right.
stuff like that, and looking at how they did it, because I mean they thought you were looking for Ahsoka, you got Bo-Katan, then you get Ahsoka, then you get a Thrawn announcement, and man, just there's gonna be some stuff that I think, if nothing else, they'll use this to kind of stoke the fires for Mando season 3 or Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I wouldn't complain. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think there's going to be at least a name drop. Someone's going to mention. I feel like it may even be Fennec Shan may compare Bubba's ruling of that area to needing to be more like Thrawn. Possibly. That might be a reach, but I think there might be a comparison to someone being in charge, someone being more in charge of a larger realm.
Well, and there sort of is. The term daimyo, which is what he was called several times when he was holding court.
What's
is
the
a
original Greek on that?
Huh?
What's the original Greek on that?
No, it's Japanese. It's Japanese, meaning that it's a lord, but it's a lord under a shogun. So that means that there's still somebody above him even that he has to answer to. So who would be the shogun in this scenario? That would be the question. And so that could work out.
Well, and one thing we've like, I don't know if you saw, there was an announcement yesterday or today or something that I'm gonna forget her name, but the young woman from Game of Thrones that was in Solo, um,
Yeah, I know you're talking
the
about.
the main female from Solo,
Right.
that she was going to return.
Oh, nice.
And so that she could end up being that role as things played out, because when we last saw them in Solo, she was reporting to Maul.
Right.
And so now that Maul's down, because this is post Rebels, that she could be the one that stepped in where Maul was. So
Well, and for that matter, she could just step in and say, "Hey, Bubba, you need to get your act together," and establish that hey, this is your job, this is what you're doing now, kind of thing. And she might, and then we find out that she's the one that's been orchestrating it from the very beginning. That would be epic, dude. I'd like that.
is Cad Bane still alive? Like canon wise, where we're at?
I haven't finished Rebels, so I'm not sure.
I want to say yes.
Like I don't because Cad Bane was just in Bad Batch.
Right.
So,
But
and I don't know.
that's prior to all
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, that's part of all this, but like, I can't remember where he ended up with Rebels or anything like that. But I mean, it would, if there was one person I would want to see fit into this little dynamic, it would be Cad Bane, because Finnick fought Cad Bane before. Cad's had interactions with young Boba, So I don't know. I think in this little world, that would be somebody I would love to see roll in a live action version. Like to me, that would be about the equivalent of having Ahsoka show up in Mandalorian.
Hmm. It would be interesting to see a live action Cad Bane.
Very fair.
Yeah, yeah. Well, cool deal, gentlemen. I thank you, Hector, for joining us to do this review.
I had one more thing. Did
Oh,
anybody
go
else?
ahead. One more thing.
Did
Yes,
anybody
sir.
else catch the opening part where it shows the different Star Wars glance over, like 3PO, Vader's helmet, and all that?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you guys catch the extras in there?
No.
No.
We get both Boba Fett's helmet in there, as well as Fennec Shan's helmet in there.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Ming-Na Wen just like totally geeked out on social media about it. So she's super excited that they added it. Evidently didn't know that they were going to do that. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
pretty cool.
I
What
mean,
is she,
and
like
that's
63.
I don't know how old she is, but she's still killing it though. Hey, look, Jennifer Beals, who plays Garza Whip, in charge of the cantina, the high-end cantina.
Yeah.
I mean, she's up there too. I mean, she was in Flashdance when I was a kid, man. I had super crush on her. So
She's 58. She was born in 63.
yeah,
She's still
But I
killing
mean,
it.
but she's like you know, Fennec. That's what this is her fourth or third, like different place in Star Wars from
at least third, yeah.
because like Bad Batch, Rebels, and this, and she was in Mando. So
So four, yeah.
yeah, I can't remember if she was in Clone Wars proper, but like, so she's
I don't think so.
yeah, so she's in at least 4 different Star Wars shows as is. So she's held her cred down. Like
Definitely.
she's got more screen time as her character than some of the people in the original trilogy. So
That's because they're all older now and they really can't come back. Except for, what, Hayden Christensen? So, yeah,
Wow.
man. Anything else y'all got? Want to add to it before we wrap it up?
Did you guys catch that the Bacta tank was healing all the scars from when he was inside the Sarlacc pit?
It's a Lazarus tank, man.
Yeah,
Lazarus pit.
I mean, like, I expected like general healing, but I mean, like, totally got rid of all the scars even on top of that, which I thought was pretty sweet.
I'm predicting there's going to be a scene where he's going to get beat down. He's going to need that tank, and he can't get to it. And somebody's going to eventually get him to it. It's going to be like Blade when he needed to get to that pool of blood, and he come out. Raw. I feel like at some point we're probably going to get that with Bubba. He's going to be down and out, can't do anything. Fennec or someone's going to grab him, throw him in there, and he's going to come out and like have a last hoorah. Do y'all think this is going to be the end of Bubba at the end of the series? You think they're going to take him out?
I think so.
well, I mean, we never heard anything canon wise past 3 until like this
Yeah.
Mandalorian. So we all thought he made it out of the Sarlacc pit, but it's just like past that, it's just like
Who knew?
It's all new
Yeah.
stuff.
I had one other little teaser thing that happened. Or I say teaser, little Easter egg within the show. The droid that was dealing sabacc in the in the cantina. Did you guys pay any attention to that droid? Did you guys catch him? So I saw one guy who said that he watched it and he was like, yeah, he looks familiar, but I don't remember where he's from. It's actually the droid, one of the droids from like the old school Star Tours. So if you've ever been to one of the Disney parks and you went through one of the Star Tours, it was the same type of droid that was used there, doing all the little introductions and stuff.
yeah.
And so it's like the first feature of this droid in anything else other than Star Tours. So anyway, thought that was kind of neat.
Well, Mr. Jonathan Jacob says it was okay. I think it'll get a lot better later on.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, man. Thanks for checking it out, Jonathan. So, Hector, you got anything else to add to it before we wrap it up?
Um, just in like it's the same thing Kevin Smith said whenever he's about watching superhero movies. He's like he's never gonna just crap on a superhero movie because he's living in an age where he can go watch a superhero movie without it being a hassle
Right.
or a struggle. Like the fact that it's the week after Christmas and I'm getting a whole new Boba Fett story without like having to like lose sleep or worry about it. I'm just like I'm gonna take this moment and appreciate it. And
Right. Yeah. Be
like I'm
grateful.
grateful for this. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that's where I've been most of my life because like or at least the last in my parenting life is that like for all uh the sequel trilogy was positive and negative. I was so pumped that my kids had new Star Wars to look forward to.
Right.
Like having three little girls going to watch, movies in the theaters of Star Wars for them, that was a big deal.
Dude, I cried the first time I took my daughter to Star Wars.
And that's that thing. Like we so total side note, but like we went to what was it Galaxy's Edge when we went to Disney, and we went to and by the way, if you've ever done the Universal parks, the Universal parks kind of have a big deal for Harry Potter's butterbeer. Like that's the drink to get there.
Right.
The blue milk at Star Wars
Yeah.
is banging.
All right.
It could compete with Harry Potter's butterbeer.
Wow.
And you can get it in like little milk containers with the with the creatures on it, and they
Nice.
light up and glow. But like it's like a frosty. But anyway, the that stuff was dope. But like when we went to Galaxy's Edge, we wanted to ride Rise of the Resistance,
Hmm.
and they used to have when the parks were at like a minimum capacity or whatever, or a smaller capacity, you could actually pre-board digitally, so you didn't have to wait in line. You could just get on a boarding party, which
Nice.
is like you at 7 a.m. you could go ahead and pick what time slot you went through.
Wow.
And that's gone now because the parks are full open.
Right.
So it's like you wait and hope. So we got in line. We waited 3 hours
Yep.
roughly. The ride broke.
No.
We were from here to the back wall of my room right here, and the ride broke.
Wow.
And they said, "Everybody go out. The ride's done for the day." So we had put 3 hours in, waited that whole time. We went and rode Smuggler's Run, which, by the way, like on this same bubble of things.
Mhm.
And I'd even add this, Hondo. I would love to see Hondo in this.
Hondo would be cool. Yeah.
And I say all that because if you haven't been to Disney in a minute, Hondo has his own ride.
I actually really thought we were going to get Hondo in Mando.
Me too.
Yeah.
But Hondo has his own ride where he's borrowed the Falcon.
Cool.
And that the entire thing is you're going through Hondo's spaceport thing, loading smuggled goods onto the Falcon, and he's riding shotgun basically with you, guiding you through the thing. So, and they have a physical live version of Hondo already canon in Star Wars. Like, if you go look at the Smuggler's Run ride,
Okay.
he has a human or like corporeal, physical animatronic Hondo.
Okay.
So they've already got the makeup, the gear, everything designed for him being in person.
So you just
So-
need somebody inside of it.
You just need somebody inside of
There
it.
you
And I mean, and the reality is, his voice could fit in the suit.
Right.
I saw that dude like a month ago. He could fit in the suit if he wanted to.
That'd be epic.
But like all that to say, we waited in line for that. As soon as we came out of Smuggler's Run, they announced that Rise of the Resistance was back open. Even though they said it was canceled for the day.
Right.
So we ran and jumped in line another 3 hours.
Oh.
We made it 2 steps closer than we did the first go round, and it broke again.
No.
So we had put almost 6 full hours into waiting on this one ride for the whole day.
Wow.
We're only in Hollywood Studios one day, and I was like, man, I wasted my kids' entire day to ride this stupid ride. And then like they said, hold on, we're gonna try one more thing. And they finally did it. And if you've not ridden Rise of the Resistance, it's not just a ride, it's a full immersive experience. So you walk in, you sit down in this like shuttle or whatever, and you get tractor beamed by a federal or a Federation, like not Federation, that's Star Trek. By you get tractor beamed by the First Order.
Right.
Put on a destroyer, and then like they literally pull you out of your cart, and First Order troopers march you down the hallway, not in a ride.
Wow.
They march you down the hallway,
Literally, physically, yeah.
And when they pull you out, you're in the dock bay, where there are hundreds of physical stormtroopers standing at the thing. So it literally looks like you just got dropped on the ship. You march through there. They put you get interrogated. They bring an officer in to interrogate you, and then they're sending you to prison or whatever. And then like Finn comes and rescues you, and Kylo chases you like slicing through the walls through the whole thing. So it's just like, but you literally get out and get interrogated and marched through, and so it's just this whole thing. So we waited 6 hours for it, to ride it. And as soon as we got off it, all three of my kids were like, "Well, that was worth the wait."
Oh, and, kids are great like that.
That's the thing. I'm like, that's what I'm so grateful for stuff like this. Like, you know, right before this, we watched it right before, or Boba right before this, and the fact that my kids have something that they can invest in where they connect with that. Right. I mean, you saw how the line was for Ahsoka and stuff like that, you know, and that whole response. Like, I'm just grateful that we get this. Yeah. So as long as Disney and Marvel, for that matter, as long as they keep putting stuff out that my kids get to connect with and we get to bond over, I'm gonna watch it. Like, you know, there was like a joke of when they were announcing all the 35 Star Wars shows or whatever, that they were going to give the Gonk droid a show. I'm like, I'd watch it.
Okay.
I'm like, let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave Hawkeye a show. Just kidding.
Bro, that was dope, though.
Yeah, it was a great show. I saw a lot of people saying Hawkeye is their favorite Disney Plus show right now. And at least Marvel show. So,
well, that's,
yeah, man.
Haley Steinfeld, who was Kate Bishop in it, like, she's Spider-Gwen in Into the Spider-Verse.
Right.
She's the main female character on the Netflix show Arcane, if you haven't seen that. And like, so like, she's on every show my kids were watching right now.
Bumblebee.
I did not see Bumblebee, but like, when I went back to look her up, I was like, oh snap, you're in here too.
Yeah.
Well, Todd Turner agrees. Hawkeye's show was his favorite show as well.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, and Yelena was killing it. Yelena was my favorite part of the Black Widow movie.
Right.
So,
and she still brought that same wit, which was awesome.
It's like in the whole thing about where she just said her name, Kate Bishop. John hates all of Hawkeye because he
said the final Kingpin fight made no sense at all.
It matches the comic. Like if you go back and watch the comic, or read the comic of the Matt Fraction one. But the thing with Kate Bishop, like my kids literally just walk around and say Kate Bishop when they're talking to each other. They're like, for no reason. So like it's that thing. If they get something that it connects with, I'm down for it. And you know, I thought Hawkeye was going to be a lame concept. Now it is, like, if you talk to John, who was commenting on here, he does have some valid points that it does feel more like a Disney Channel teen comedy than part of the MCU. Because some of it is a little campier and stuff like that. But it's the thing with, like, D'Onofrio said that they told him when they put him in this that his character was going to be like near invulnerable, like, for a lot of things, but that I talked to John Jacobs before that he was like, he thought it was preposterous that she took no damage in the fight. He just commented on that. Yeah. I feel
like I've had this conversation before.
We've had, well, I've seen him have this conversation before. I love John. But that's the thing, like, he thought it was preposterous that Kate took no damage. And to be fair, if you take a punch from Kingpin, you should probably have some broken stuff.
Major. Yeah.
So, but I think that's the thing. It's the Disney Channel version of the
Yeah.
MCU with that, and you just got to take it to heart. But then again, I'm watching this for the Disney Channel propriety of it with my kids. So,
Right.
Yeah, yeah. True that. True that.
Yeah. My,
I'm done talking. Sorry.
me and my daughter went around going, bro, 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 bro.
So Todd Turner said it was the LARPer suit that saved her.
Yeah, I'm
We'd
not
have to
sure
have a
about.
whole other conversation about Hawkeye. I mean, we're just going to keep going and going.
Sorry, book
No,
Book
that's
of
good.
Boba
I'm
Fett.
I'm having fun with it, so absolutely.
But they did say that there was a deleted scene that they replaced that where the musical was originally. They were going to show another Kingpin scene.
Oh, that would have been so much better.
Now, I will say I love the musical, not the whole thing, but the fact that the main dude from Rent is in it. The one dude in the suit is one of the main guys from Rent. So
They
I
could've
know
got
how
rid
you
of
feel
that.
about musicals. I know how
Look,
you feel
look,
about
my
musicals.
wife and I, while I was sitting there watching it, and she asked me, she said, "Did you look up the musical?" I said, "No, they tagged it on the end of it." Because I did hear there was a scene that they had, but they ended up cutting it. And they put that musical there instead.
So if you've read the book that a lot of this is from, Maya shoots Kingpin in the face and he's blinded. So he spends X amount of time healing from that. And so there was a thing that they had filmed a scene that showed him blinded. And
Wow.
that would have been the thing. And that if you look up the comic panel, he had the gauze over his face. They said that they were going to put that scene in there. That it would have been him trying to rebuild his thing, and that you would have saw that Kingpin was temporarily blinded. So
John said Rent was awesome, and that was his favorite part of the show. So we get it, John. You did not like Hawkeye at all.
he wanted something that was going to bleed the grit of the MCU, and this was not it.
A little more Daredevil, Punisher,
Yeah,
Netflix series.
yeah, but
I'm not
I'm
even-
saying
I don't know how Disney's going to handle Daredevil, Punisher. I guess Deadpool is going to be the litmus test to see if they can make an R-rated.
but they said they are making Deadpool R-rated though.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
I think that we're gonna get. I think Daredevil will be fine, but like it's like Barenthal has said, he does not want a watered down Punisher.
Right.
So, and I think when you put Kingpin against some other people that aren't, a teenage girl with some bows, that the fights will look a little bit stronger and less preposterous. But
well, I don't know if they're going to pitch all that stuff over to Hulu, or they're going to stream that stuff on Hulu, because I know at one point there are R-rated stuff like Daredevil, Punisher, that really crappy MODOK show.
oh, and now they've got Hit Monkey on Marvel too.
Yeah.
on Hulu.
Yeah, that's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Jason Sudeikis is the dude in Hit Monkey, and like I'm a big Ted Lasso fan right now, so I almost
yeah,
want to watch
definitely.
it just for that. But I don't care enough.
It is not good.
Well, let's just hope that Punisher and Daredevil and those other shows don't go the MODOK and Hit Monkey route, because I haven't seen Hit Monkey, but y'all make it sound like it's not worth seeing.
No, they can't do that. It just doesn't even make sense. So
This has been good, y'all. Anything else I got? Anything else? John said I wanted Midnight Suns movie with Norman as Ghost Rider. I did see that Norman Reedus. I've heard a lot of talk about it. I've heard a lot of fan favorite picks for that role. And has anybody actually verified that Norman Reedus is going to be Ghost Rider?
There's discussion of him talking over it, not that it's like confirmed, but that'd be dope.
I'm just saying that'd be perfect.
I don't feel
So-
like Norman Reedus is a good enough actor. It's just
It'll
like
push him. Look, I believe if he has the right director.
versus
He'll be
Nick
good.
Cage.
Nick Cage can act when he wants to. It's just not that often that he wants to.
Well, you would have thought he would have wanted to for Ghost Rider, but clearly he didn't.
Did you watch his Superman screen test? Because that says a lot too.
No.
Oh, please, for your sake, the edification of your life, go get on YouTube at some point and watch Nicolas Cage's Superman screen test when
Okay.
he's in the full suit
Okay.
with a mullet. This dude wanted to be Superman, and he still brought that, which is why one of the big jokes is that they made him Superman for the Teen Titans Go movie
Right.
because he was Superman for a minute.
A minute. All right.
Yeah. So, everybody, thank y'all so much for tuning in. If you are part of our audience, go check out Faith and Fandom. Hector does a lot of great things over there. He's got a lot of stuff on Instagram, Facebook. Are you on Twitter, Hector?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
on Twitter, but like real talk, it's just me retweeting other stuff. So it's like, it's
Gotcha,
it's not like
gotcha.
it's if you're on my Facebook or Instagram, you've already got what's on Twitter.
Yeah. I know most of your stuff's visual anyway, so I know Twitter's not the
Yeah.
best platform for that. So go check out Hector at Faith and Fandom. You want to plug your website?
That's faithandfandom.org if you want to check that out. It's got 162 devotionals on it right now. And you can go through and literally click on the website by category. So if you went to blog and click Star Wars, all the Star Wars chapters are in one place, all the Marvel ones and stuff like that. And all the chapters that will be in book 8 are up now in rough draft form in print
Oh.
and audio. So if you want to jump ahead, like I just put one up yesterday or the day before for Spider-Man No Way Home, and like some stuff like that. There's a chapter on Mandalorian and some different stuff. So, but yeah, that's got there, and then that'll link you to everything else, podcasts and all the rest.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you for being a part of it. We'll be back soon with another episode. Make sure you stay tuned.
Peace.